more questions anybody want to ask me? Are you guys
Come on, you
shy?
guys, think about, I know you're thinking about something. You guys are never this quiet. I mean, I don't know what to think.
Was that boring?
No, it's awesome.
Thank you.
So this boyfriend, did he ever get in contact with you when you were in prison?
Yeah, he contacted me after, he came home before I did. He left me high and dry. He did contact me. He came home before me. He has been out, and he has also went back to prison again. So he wasn't one of the ones that learned from his mistakes, you know. He went back again. But I chose not to go that route. I just chose the better route. The work, throwing trash. Any more questions?
What happened to your children when you had to go to prison?
Good question.
Were they with your parents? Or?
My mother was deceased. I don't have much family, so they were kind of like from place to place. I mean, the time I was gone, my kids lived in 10 different locations. So it was like, it hurt them as much as it hurt me. I mean, because they had no stable place to live. And my oldest son, my kids were living in Georgia, and my oldest son went to visit them. He was 18 at the time, and their living conditions were very poor. I mean, it was bad. And he took the kids and came back to Florida and never took them back. Now, he's 18 years old, living on the college campus. He took them back to college with them and was raising them on the college campus till the dean found out, and they helped him get a place and the kids and stuff like that.
Did you ever get your kids back?
Yeah, when I came home, the kids, they, you know, at first, when you come home from prison, it's you just don't step out into society. You have to go to what they call a halfway house. And after I finished my halfway house time, my kids, they came to live with me.
Are them too well?
No, these are not my kids. No. Yes, ma'am.
Are they all doing okay?
No. I'll be honest with you. I'll keep it honest. One of my sons, he's in the legal system as we speak. He is in jail right now. Basically, I was one of the ones that turned him in. You know, I just don't want to see my son out there getting killed. I don't want to see him out there, you know, doing the same thing that I did, making his life miserable. So he's trying to get all this behind him and move on.
What is a halfway house?
The halfway house is a place that the prison sends you where you have to live to re-enter society. You live there for anywhere from 3 to 6 months. It's basically a prison outside of prison. You have to go there, you have to look for work, you have to pay them for living there. So whatever you make, they get 15% of your gross wages, not your net, your gross. So you actually, it's like a prison away from home. You have to live there. You can't go live in your own residence. You have to live there until they feel that you're ready to go and live in society again. You have to show them that, okay, I can live in society, I can do what I'm supposed to do, I'm not going to get in trouble, and then they release you.
Were you able to see your kids when you were in prison?
5 years, I saw my kids one time.
Really?
One time. That was really hard. I saw them one time in 5 years.
When it's Christmas time, do you guys see your mom and dad at Christmas time? Or, of course, you guys live with them. But I mean, what do? You're planning on, you know, seeing your kids, you know, 5 years. You know, that's almost when you have a kid and all of a sudden they're 5 years old. I mean, that's a lifetime. Can you imagine, you know, not seeing your kids for 5 years? I mean, that's the reality of some of the decisions you guys make and how they could affect you. One thing I wanted to ask was, since I work at a school, I have a lot of kids that say, I know something, but I don't want to be a snitch. I know something, but I don't want to be known as a snitch. And I definitely can understand that, but when I see like the bigger picture of really, the bigger picture is this person will eventually be helped, and you know maybe they might get in trouble, but I think if we all kind of come together, this person can eventually be helped. being that you turned in your own son to law enforcement, how do you feel about kids that they see something and they know something but they don't want to snitch?
What is snitching?
Telling them.
Tell them what?
Telling on that person.
Tell them what?
Something they did bad or something.
Okay, what did you say, doing bad? So you're gonna keep that quiet, that they did something bad? So that's, you call that snitching?
Yeah, I
Being a tattletale.
Huh?
Being a tattletale.
guess.
Okay, say you're not a tattletale. Say you see this person, they go out and they get in trouble, and you know about it. And that person says, oh, well, he knows them, he knew about it. Guess what? You can get in trouble too. So so what are you gonna take the chance of telling on that person and not get in trouble, or get in trouble with that person? So, that's what you're supposed to do. What'd you say?
I said, out here snitching for.
I know that's right.
Because eventually it helps them. I mean, it really does. And it's not fair. I get so mad. Sometimes people say, oh, they didn't tell me to say something, but they're my friend. I mean, if they were really your friend, would they put you in that position to basically, now you know their secret, they're telling you not to say anything, and you're forced to kind of hold that too. I don't know if you guys know, I mean, if you guys try to hold in something that's bad, the weight on your shoulders is just tremendous. Knowing that you did something wrong, to have them look over your shoulder is just
I
too
think the
great.
thing about being a friend, a lot of people understand the level of being a friend is different. Like when you're a friend,
Trey,
you
stand up.
persuade
Trey,
your,
stand
like when you're a friend,
Trey,
my name is
Trey.
Trey. Like when you're a friend, you persuade your friends to do the right thing. Like a lot of people get caught up in situations where they're just followers instead of leaders. Like if he do something wrong and I know it's wrong, first thing I'm gonna tell him is don't do it. Or the outcome, because some people can't tell. Like if I come here and I tell him, if you do this, you go here. His understanding level, first thing he'll say is, oh, I don't care. But as a friend, sometimes you have to go more than 50% and help your friend out. You have to go 8%. Sometimes you might go 30%. It might be easy to go. At times it might be like life or death situation where snitching is the right thing to do. And they label that snitching. You shouldn't even call it. You should call it truth. You should tell the truth or a lie. The word snitch is just something to mask the problem. Because if it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, basically. And I come from, like, I'm 23 years old.
I was gonna
Like,
everybody, this is Trap. He's done it all. I mean, see, I just wanted you guys to see, you know, everyone has a picture of a bad guy, what a person's supposed to be like. So you're getting to see both sides of the story, from male and female. He's done it all. He's gangbang. He's done everything. So I wanted you guys to hear it from a real live gangbanger, as you guys call it, you know, in the gang situation or whatever. So, you know, this is Trapping.
who's the oldest person here?
As far as kids go.
Kids, yeah.
How old are you? 18. How old are you?
18.
I got in trouble at 15 in 2002, and me thinking that I'll get 21 days here, 21 days there. It got me on the road to doing the wrong thing, because I feel like I get out of jail free card. I committed a carjacking. I sat 19 days in the detention center. I was happy. 2 days, I'm gonna go home. I did something crazy. I'm just gonna slow down for 6 months. My 19th day, I got charged as an adult. So they moved me to the Lee County jail. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, it's reality.
15.
I'm 15, I'm like, and the whole time about it, like, I came from an unstable household where my mother didn't really do for me because of what I was doing in the streets. That was a lot of reasons, because sometimes it makes it hard on the parents when you're doing so wrong for them to help you out. So she kind of just let me go. And when she did that, I ended up in the county jail. So I'm sitting there. So when my lawyer came in and gave me the deal, he told me 30 years. So I started calculating on my finger, 30 years plus 15. I'm like, wow. And he asked me did I want to take it. And I'm like, that's no deal. Because my mind frame on what's the law, an officer, a police officer, the law, it was so misconstrued in a way that I didn't really care about the police. I didn't care about the law. It was my way or the highway, in a way. So, make a long story short, when I did get sent, I caught 5 years. I did 4.5. And the whole thing about it, the whole survival it did to the mind of a 15-year-old when I was through into a system of, it was called the Department of Corrections. So I'm sitting there. I was always the outspoken person, I thought, but it was just my situation that kept me in the wrong thing. So when I'm in there, my first couple of years, I did wrong. I gang bang, beat people up, did this, did that. But it was just making me in a way of, I was scared for my life at the time, but fear wasn't an option because I'm in there with 4 years and I'm surrounded by people. He got 15 years, he got 30 years, 20, life, and I have 4 years, and I'm looked upon as, oh, he going home, so we don't really care about him. So in a way, it made me have to be a better person because that's survival wise. But in a way, I was like thinking like, I gotta think when I get out. So I got my high school diploma in there. I took up trades, but at the same time, I was still borderline doing bad, doing good, because I still came from what they call Fort Myers. And Fort Myers is known for this and this and that. So I still had to maintain my gangster image, my gang bang image, my street image. At the same time, good was okay. So when I got out, thinking that release was the end of it, it wasn't. Because when I got out, I did 4.5 years of survival. So when I was through into the streets, back into the same project, same hood, same block, it's all over again. So I'm 19 now. And now it involved from fist fights to guns and actual drug dealers. So I'm through into the streets. I have 15 fellas, and I'm sitting like,